I was thinking about that sense of fulfillment, that sense of fulfillment with some kind of good experience, good content. So I was thinking about just that rumination, that 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 feeling of happiness that we look for in some kind of experience, but independently of the content. So I wrote this, and let's see if it makes sense, because I was kind of like independent of the content at the same time writing about that. Have you ever found meaningful entertainment that touches you? You know, that venue, play, concert, movie, church service, whatever it was, fireside chat with friends, a walk in nature, time with animal friends, a book. But the rumination that was there, when it was over, did you feel renewed? A feeling of purpose? So, this is like talking about a fictitious fulfillment. A fictitious fulfillment was there in content experience, but it touched something undeniably real. Could have been anything, a movie, a book, a fellowship service, anything. But what is the content, and what is that fulfillment feeling? There's some kind of fiction involved that's not the real. So I don't feel like I'm capturing it right to read this, but I'll try anyway. You could ruminate there, but somehow that feeling got associated with the content. Have you ever gone back to find meaning and only found pleasure, instant pleasure that seemed to fulfill that search or emptiness, but didn't? It didn't open the real rumination again of you. That was like finding the fulfilling content without finding the open rumination of you. That was something independent of content. So think about that movie. Not the specific one, just that you've been through it. You've been through that experience that left you fulfilled and ruminating afterwards. You could ruminate still, but it wasn't really the content, was it? What was it? Could it be that we are truly after or prior to what was the fulfilling content? Why are we being ushered to other content, other media, other social media? Why would there be a stigma attached to a past media, Facebook, YouTube? Why would we keep moving on and maybe attaching a stigma to a past one that wasn't working at the time or anything like that? So the question is, has content seeking itself become a religion? It can become like trying to milk that essence. After a shot of content heroin, we think another fix will come from the right content. Maybe it will fulfill our leanings, our group mindsets, or whatever it is when we feel that fulfillment. But the right content of life, is there really any content of life? Specific content. It's not specific, is it? It's life. Words and content are sterile and lifeless. But what is that rumination? So, it's not even in talking about it, that's for sure. I try to get all intense in my voice about it, but there's no transference necessarily through me as a content or anything or anyone as a content. So what is that content called of operating a body brain? Crinkly paper. Content of crinkly paper, or the formless rumination, the understanding that there was a fulfillment, but it's not the content that does it. So what about applying this to life? It's amazing to consider all the content of language, of beliefs, of livelihood, of success, of all the ego boosts. They're all content without that rumination, that formless whatever. There's no language specifics for it. Being loving toward family is good content, but we get trapped if we're taking it as content. We tend to trap each other in it. It's not the content. That's the claim. What is that rumination? My voice, it's not it. It needs no specific content. Me as a content is not it. Be that rumination and look at the content. Visuals, sounds, smells, body, touch, sense. I don't know why I was going so fast reading this. So we have all that. Visuals, sounds, smells, body, touch, sense. All content comes through that. What is that rumination that is not dependent on any specific content? So eventually there's an independence from the body, brain, sensorum specifics, or the entire content, the whole universe and every possibility in it as content. What is that rumination independent of it? Take as many years as you want to check if it's the content that is helpful. Attend content between loved ones. Attend the fulfilling venues of content. Whatever it is, a play, a concert, fellowship service. The rumination we seek is formless. The content of this recording of a voice. There's no specific content that is helpful with that fulfilling rumination. So, what is that fulfilling independence? From crinkly paper content. So just about that exploring, because there's no specific arrangement of content that can ever fulfill. But it's kind of a trick we fall for, isn't it? That I must find that fulfillment through me as a content? No, me as a content will always be an addict of it. So, what is the independent origin, the unchangeable happiness of ruminating that fulfillment? You know it happened for you many times. How long can we trick ourselves to think it's the content? We gotta give that content. We gotta find that content. What is the unchangeable happiness of ruminating? What happens if subtler and subtler content is given up, we'll say that fulfilling rumination gives up celebration of finding independence from content. So say you have that rumination on your own, fulfilling, and you're not depending on any specific content. Well, the next fulfilling step there is to even give up that, whatever you can, that fulfilling feeling, that subtler addiction, or whatever it is. So it's suggestion to go to the undefinable rumination. Suspend specifics. There's no specifics of content that does it. What does the unspecific happiness appear in? It can take a while, but it's obvious eventually that there's no specifics. It's such an old habit that we think there must be a specific to our fulfillment. Who is non-content awareness? What is non-content awareness? What is aware? It's wide openness, unspeakable. So from now on, we just do that on our own without any dependence on anyone's content. You have that total independence. You need no specific content distributors. It's nice that we have this strange freedom. Content is there. But there is no specific content reaching to our body and mind that can help. So my content experience is reading this, not even sure what the next sentence is or what the current sentence is saying, but does it indicate that happiness, that formless happiness without any dependence on content? Content is just another word. Tomorrow it'll be said different. It's dead, sterile content. If we believe specific venues are the fulfilling venue or media or specific me doing this, someone doing that, these sounds, these words, these noises to each other, it's not. We are totally independent of it. We just got tricked for a while. We can be done with the addiction of specific content seeking when we are the formless, unalterable happiness hidden by sensory content. Maybe just, crinkle paper. Maybe I'll just crinkle paper for the rest of the day. That will be the content. Listen to the blue jays, the birds, animals just fully spontaneous, bugs zipping around, rocks blooming, plants solidly just being motionless, air thinking that it's blowing around. So written poetry is really bad, all of it, even the best of it is terrible. It's written, it's not spontaneous. It's a photograph. Content, loving content. What is the real love?